When I was 17, my mom's boyfriend told me I should start calling him Dad. That would have been annoying on its own. The problem was that he had spent years acting like he could buy his way into our family. I'm 22 now. My mom is 50. Her boyfriend Victor is 73. Yes, really. And before anyone asks, no, they never officially married. But he's been around for so long that most people assume they did. My parents had a terrible relationship. Constant fighting, constant resentment. By the time I was old enough to understand what was happening, they were basically roommates who hated each other. Eventually, they separated. Not long after that, Victor started showing up everywhere. Victor owned the company where my mom worked. He had money. A lot of money. At first, he was just her boss. Then he became her friend. Then suddenly, he was taking us out to dinner, paying for vacations, buying expensive gifts, showing up at birthdays, showing up at holidays, showing up at random weekends when nobody invited him. The thing that bothered me wasn't the money. It was the attitude. Everything came with strings attached. Not obvious strings, but they were there. Every gift became evidence of how much we supposedly owed him. Every favor became a reason he deserved more influence. Every expense became another reason we should be grateful. My younger brother never cared. He liked the gifts. My mom loved the stability. I was the problem, at least according to Victor, because I never acted impressed. One day, he bought my mom a luxury SUV. A ridiculous one. The kind of vehicle nobody actually needs. Everyone stood outside admiring it. Victor kept looking at me, waiting for a reaction. Finally, he asked, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "It's a car." The smile disappeared from his face immediately. Later, my mom pulled me aside. She said, "You could have shown more appreciation." I said, "He bought it for you, not me." She said, "He's trying to help this family." I said, "Then why does everything feel like a performance?" That argument became a recurring theme. Victor would do something expensive. Everyone would celebrate. Then I'd get lectured because my gratitude wasn't enthusiastic enough. The situation got worse when my dad remarried. Victor seemed obsessed with competing with him. My dad bought me concert tickets. Victor bought better seats. My dad helped me move apartments. Victor paid for new furniture. My dad took us to dinner. Victor booked an expensive restaurant and made sure everyone knew the bill was his. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then he stopped hiding it. One night, he actually said, "Your father talks a lot for a man who never provided much." The table went silent. My mom didn't say anything. My brother looked at his plate. I said, "Then why do you spend so much time talking about him?" Victor laughed. But it was the fake kind. The kind people use when they're angry. Things exploded a few months later. My college tuition was becoming a problem. Money was tight. Victor offered to cover part of it. My mom was thrilled. I was uncomfortable, but realistically, I needed the help. So I accepted. That turned out to be a mistake. Because from that moment forward, he acted like he owned a piece of my future. He started giving advice about my major. Advice about where I should live. Advice about who I should date. Advice about everything. One day, I finally said, "I don't remember asking." Victor replied, "I paid for your education." I said, "That wasn't a contract." He said, "Nothing is free." That was the first honest thing he'd said in years. The real breaking point came at my graduation party. My father was there. His wife was there. My grandparents were there. Everyone was actually getting along, for once. Then Victor stood up to make a toast. At first, it sounded normal. He talked about hard work, opportunity, success. Then he said, "I'm proud of the role I've played in raising her." I froze. My father froze. The entire table froze. Victor kept going. He said, "Sometimes biology matters less than who's actually there." My dad stood up immediately. I honestly thought they were about to fight. Instead, my father said, "You've got some nerve." Victor said, "I'm just telling the truth." Then everyone started talking at once. My mom tried calming people down. Victor kept insisting he was being misunderstood. My grandparents were furious. The whole party became a disaster. Finally, I stood up, and for the first time in years, I stopped trying to keep the peace. I said, "You're not my father." The room went silent. Victor looked shocked. I continued, "You paid for things. You helped my mom. You helped me financially. But you don't get to rewrite history." Victor said, "After everything I've done for you?" I said, "That's exactly the problem." He stared at me. I stared back. Then I said the thing I'd wanted to say for years. Every nice thing you do comes with an invoice. My mom told me later that I embarrassed him. I said, "He embarrassed himself." She said, "He loves this family." I said, "No, he loves being needed." That argument lasted for weeks. My brother thought I should apologize. Some relatives agreed with him. They said Victor had done more for me financially than anyone else. Maybe that's true. But here's the thing people keep debating. Providing money and being family are not the same thing. A lot of people online seem to think they are. I don't. If somebody buys your loyalty, is it really loyalty? If every favor creates an obligation, is it really generosity? And if someone spends years competing with your actual parent, are they helping the family or helping themselves? Update. Victor and I barely speak now. We're civil. Nothing more. My mom hates that. She keeps saying, life is short. She's probably right. He's old. His health isn't great. I know that. But I'm done pretending gratitude means surrender. I'm grateful for the help. I'm grateful for the opportunities. I'm not grateful enough to let someone purchase a role they never earned. And apparently that opinion makes me the villain in half my family.